Now, who is feeling the confidence to take the Math 102 exams? If you are feeling the confidence, give me thumbs up in the comment section. So now let's take the last 20 questions, which is the quiz that we wrote this semester, and then we are done, right? So let's jump right in. So the first question is asking us to find the common chord of M and N, right? So we have two circles that intercept at M and N. So what we are trying to say here is we have circle here, we have another circle here, and then there is intersection somewhere here. There is intersection somewhere here, another one too here. So let's call this one N, and let's call this one M. So this is the common chord that we are looking for. So all we just need to do is we need to equate circle 1 and then circle 2, and then we are done. So let's do that. So let me call this one x1, right? So I'm going to have x minus 1 squared plus y squared is equal to 9. Expand this one and have, let me increase this one small. Okay, so x squared minus 2x plus 1, then plus y squared is equal to 9. And this is going to give us x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 9 is equal to 0. So that's what we are going to get. This is the same as x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus minus 7 is equal to 0. So this is x1, right? Now let's look for s2. So s2, we are going to have something like this. And don't forget, we have some new questions in this. I have some trick that I want to show you. So make sure you stay here to get the last tip from me before you take your final exam. So let's continue. Here is y squared minus 8y plus 16 minus 9 is equal to 0. So x squared plus y squared minus 8y plus, this is supposed to be 7 is equal to 0. So this is what you are going to get. So we are going to set s1 to s2, right? So let's do that. We are going to have x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 7 is equal to x squared plus y squared minus 8y plus 7. So this is what you are going to get. And when you move one to the left or one to the right, we are going to have this one cancelling out. So what is going to be left here is going to be left with 8y. So I'm just moving this to this side. 8y minus 2x minus 7. This one's supposed to be 8. This one's supposed to be 8. Okay. So this is going to be 8. This one is going to be 8. Then when I move the 7 here, I get another 7 is equal to 0. So I'm going to have 8y minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. So this is what I'm going to get, and there is no option here. So there is no option. The answer is supposed to be this here. If I want to divide 2 by 2, I think you can have something like this. X minus 7.5 is equal to 0. So we don't have the answer there. So let's just move to question 2 quick. So the strategy still holds, right? So throughout the video that we were doing, you see that we are trying to make sure that this is objective. So finding the shortcut. So one way to see this is, you see here, the question is saying that we should find limit as x is approaching 1 of f of x. This one, I can see that the answer is going to be 5. If the answer is not going to be 5, then this one is going to be bonus. Why? Because this one is either the answer is equal to the constant here or it does not exist. Meaning that when I find limit of this, it's not the same as this. And since the option we don't have it does not exist, then the answer is definitely going to be this. So let's try and find out. So you are going to pick limit on the left, right? As x is approaching 1 of 5 less than or equal to, then we pick limit, the one in the middle, of f of x less than or equal to limit x is approaching 1 of x squared plus 6 minus 2. So this is what we are going to get from here. And it just limit of a constant is going to give us the constant. That's the reason why I'm saying that the answer should be possibly be 5. And then here will be limit x is approaching 1 of f of x. And basically this is what we are looking for here. And then now here, since the function is a polynomial function, we plug in 1 and have 1 plus 6 minus 2, and this is equal to 5. So this is what we are going to get. So the left and the right are the same, so we are going to have this one to be 5. Now let's find a midpoint. So we've done a lot, so this one should be very quick for us to do that. So let's assume that M is the midpoint, so we are going to have x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Very quick one. And then we are going to have this one to be 1 plus 5 divided by 2, and then 2 plus 9 divided by 2. So what did I do? I picked this one as my x1, then this one will be my y1, x2, and this one will be my y2. Just plug them in. So we are going to have 6 divided by 2, 11 divided by 2, which is the same as 3, 11 divided by 2, which is very quick from here. Now let's look at question 4. Now so this one question is like kind of new question, right? I've not even seen throughout the the books that I was doing. So we have a line like this, which is reflected in the y-axis. So when I reflect a line on the y-axis, remember when we talk about y-axis is basically we are talking about when x is equal to 0. That's when we are talking about the y-axis. So when I reflect this line here on the y-axis, it's going to change the x values to negative values. So I'm going to change, my x is going to move to minus x, and my y is going to remain unchanged. So that's basically what is going to happen here. So all I just need to do here is, now I need to substitute x by minus x, and then I'm done. So let's do that from the question. So I'm going to have 3 minus x minus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So what am I going to get from here? I'm going to have minus 3x minus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. And the answer is going to be B here. So that's very simple from there. Now let's look at question 5. So question 5.2, we want to find the equation of the line through the center and then the point. So we have a circle here, and we want to find the equation of the line which passes through the center and the point. So your point can be anywhere. It can be inside, it can be on, or it can be outside the point circle. We don't know, so I can just leave the point here. So we need to get the center first, and we can get the center here. Now don't forget, the standard equation is a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. So here it tells us that the radius is equal to 5, right? And then the center is going to be 5 and minus 2, because this is positive, this is minus, so it's going to give us minus 2. We don't need the radius, we just need the center, so we need 5 and minus 2. Now we want to find the equation of the line. So equation of the line should be y minus y1, which is equal to the slope, and then x minus y1. Basically, I think all of them are on the line, so you can pick any point. But let me use the point which was given. So I'm going to have y minus 2 is equal to mx minus 7. So I need the slope. Let's find the slope. So slope is equal to change in y divided by change in x. So this is going to give us y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So that's basically what you are going to get from here. Now let me choose this one as my x2, y2. So I'm going to have 2 plus 2 divided by 7 minus 5. And this is going to give me 4 divided by 2, and this is going to give us 2. So the slope here is going to be 2 minus 7. So this is 2x minus 14, I think so, yeah. And then y minus 2. So let's see how the question is being grouped. Okay, so we can write this one as minus 2 plus 14 is equal to 2x, and y plus 12 is equal to 2x. So this is very simple if you remember the formula here. Now, I love one question that I saw when I saw the question, and I think most of you were getting it right, which is great. But I'll show you the techniques that, possibly questions that they can also ask you. Now, when I see a question like this, I know the theorem that if I have limit, as x is approaching 0 of tan x divided by x, this is equal to 1. So here, without even solving, I see that the answer is equal to D. Why? Because, you know, the angle here is with pi. It's not the idea that I'm going to factor pi out, but the idea is that I'm going to multiply through, because of this one is not the same as this, I'm going to multiply through by pi over pi. So the answer is going to be given as pi. Let me show you how it's going to be. So limit x is approaching 0 of tan of, let me put this one in parentheses so that you understand, divided by x. Now I cannot move the pi out because this is an angle. But for me to have the same thing here, then I can multiply this one by pi, right? So this and this will be the same. Then when I multiply this one by pi, I change the question. So I need to multiply the top 2 by pi. So this is what I'm going to do. I multiply this one by pi divided by pi. So pi is a constant, so I can move it here and have pi limit x is approaching 0 tan of pi x divided by pi x. So I multiply this one by this, and this pi is here. So now this is the same as, almost the same as this one, because if we change this one to be u and this one to be u, you see that we've gotten this one to be the same as this. So we are going to say that this is 1, and we are going to have pi times 1, which is going to be pi. So for example, if I have something like this, limit x is approaching 0 of tan of 2x divided by x, then this is basically, the answer is going to be 2 when you do it. Let's look at question 7. Which of the following function is continuous? So for continuity, we have 3 things that we need to do, and any of them must satisfy the equation, right? So let's pick from the first one and see. So absolute of x, now absolute of x is the same as minus x, x is less than 0, and then x is greater than or equal to 0. So now let's try and find out. We can just do direct substitution and see. Now what is f of 0? Now f of 0 is equal to the one which is less than or equal to. So we are going to pick f of 0 here, and the function is going to be x, so this is going to be 0, because this is where the x is equal to 0. Now for continuity, we need to also check if the limit from the left is the same as the limit from the right. Then we can conclude that the limit exists at 0. So when I pick limit as s is approaching 0 from the left of f of x, is it the same as limit as x is approaching 0 from the positive? Then I can conclude for limit as s is approaching 0 of f of x. So let's see what happens here. Now limit from the left, what am I going to get? Let me shift this one small. This is going to give us 0, because now the left function is minus x, and when I plug in 0, I get 0. The positive function is this, and when I plug in 0, I get it to be 0. So this is equal to 0. So this one too is true. So it means that this limit exists and is equal to 0. Now the last theorem is to check if this is the same as this, and we can see that limit as x is approaching 0 of f of x is equal to f of 0. So without even going further, I know that the answer is supposed to be A, right? If I have any of other functions to be continuous, then it means that there's no option, or maybe the answer was 2. So let me guide you through the rest of the question, and let's see how it's going to be. So now this is just showing us the left and the right. So here, for us to talk about continuity, we can look at whether the left is the same as the right, right? So let's pick limit as x is approaching 4 from the left, which is going to give us 3. So from the left is the one with the 3. So this is going to give us 3. Limit as x is approaching 4 from the right. This is x over 2 plus 3. So this is going to give us 4. So we set x to be equal to 4 over 2 plus 3. And this is going to be 2 plus 3. And this is going to be 5. So the left and the right are not the same. So the limit itself does not exist. So B is out. Now we can also see that indeed this does not exist, right? Because when I want to draw 1 over x, you know how 1 over x graph looks like, right? So this, it does not exist, because when x is approaching 0, this will just be undefined. So this one too does not, it's not continuous. Now let's look at this one here. Now here we can see that f of 0 is equal to 0 because that's when x is equal to 0 here. Now let's pick limit as s is approaching 0, which we are going to pick it from here, of the natural log of x. Now when I plug in 0, ln of 0 is equal to minus infinity. So this is not the same as this. So this one too is out of the option. So the right option here is A. Good. I love this question. And I'll show you techniques that you are going to use if the question is being changed, right? So when we talk about this is basically we are talking about the floor function. When you see something like that, we call it the floor function. This is a floor function. And when you talk about a floor function, this is what we mean. We mean that we are picking the greatest integer. So this one, when you see this greatest integer here, can be written as less than or equal to x. This is the greatest integer. So when you talk about integer, you know integers are 1, 2, 3, 0, -1 to negative infinity to positive infinity, right? So now let me do some experiment here. Now if I want to pick the floor value of 1, this is equal to 1. But let's talk about fractions, right? Now if I want to pick the floor value of, let me say 5 divided by 2. Now this is a fraction, so I need to write it in decimal point, right? So I'm going to have this one to be 2.5. So guess what will be the answer for this? This is going to be 2. We need the greatest. So the greatest value here is basically 2. We approximate it. You are going to have 3, but 3 is not inside this. So the least here is, the greatest here is going to be 2. Why are we saying that? Now, if I pick something like this, you see that the greatest value here, when I approximate this one, I'm going to have 3. So I can say that here my x is between 2 less than or equal to x less than 3. So here the greatest value here will be 2. Greatest integer, because between 2 and 3, this can be written as this and 3 open. So between this, I can have something like 2, 2.1, 2. Up to 2.5. But you see that all those values that I'm going to get, they are not integers. The only integer here is 2. So that is what I'm going to get here. So anytime you have a fraction, make sure you write it in the decimals, then you pick the least inside the decimal, right? So now let's go back to our question here. Now they've given us 1/2. So 1/2, when I pick the floor value of 1/2, this is going to be 0, because I know that 1/2 is 0.5. So this is going to be 0. So it means that here we are going to have the interval. Since we know that the greatest value should be this, we are going to have the interval here to be 0, less than x, less than 1. Because between 0.5, the lower and then the greatest interval, which contain 0.5, is 0 and 1. Is the one that contains 0.5, which is half. The lowest integer and the greatest integer here. But here we are concentrating on this because here we are not including 1. So our concentration is on this one. So we are going to say that the greatest value of x here is equal to 0. So it means that now if I want to find a limit as x is approaching 1/2 of this is basically equal to 0 here, and this is going to give us 0. So we are going to have our answer here to be C. I'll give you some example again for you to understand this very well before we move to the next question. Now let's assume that this is not a value that you are approaching. Let's assume that we are approaching n, or let's say minus n from the left, from the right. Then we move to question 9. Now let's assume that x is approaching, let's say n of the function like this. Anytime this one is not a value, we don't know the exact value because it is just n. So this is what you are going to do. You pick the n here, right? This n here becomes your greatest integer. So this one is going to be, x is going to be between n minus 1 less than equal to x, then n. So this is how you are going to write this here. So if n is not a value that we know, like 1/2, 3/2, and those kind of thing, then your n should be here, and you subtract 1 from this and you get this. Now let's assume that it is n is -1, x is approaching minus n. If x is approaching minus n, then this is going to be x minus n will be here. So guess what? We are going to subtract n. We are going to subtract 1. So this is going to be less than or equal to, and this is going to be minus n minus 1. So that's basically what we are going to do here. So now the question is, what will be the limit for this? Now this is going to be the function here. So here I'm going to find limit as x is approaching n of n minus 1. This function has no x, so this is going to give us n minus 1. Is that right? And then when I'm talking about this one too, this from the minus aspect is going to give us the minus here. And it's going to be the same thing. But the question is, you see, whenever I'm finding for limit, I need to check for the left and then the right, right? So let's assume that I want to check from the right, from the left. If I want to do from the left function is going to be this. So let's assume that this question is just not just n, but the question is asking us from the left. From the left means we are talking about approaching from the left side. So from the left side, the same thing. Don't think about this function here. Think about the n here. So you are going to set the same equation, and from the left will be n minus 1. Let's think about it from the right. If this one is positive, then what will be the function? From the right, 2 is going to be the same function here, which is n minus 1. So that is basically the floor function. I hope you understood the floor function, so that anytime you are doing it, you pick the right procedure to do it. So let me give you one last example under the integers. So example, if I want to approach 5 divided by 2 of this, then what will be the answer here? So I know that 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5, right? So this 2.5, which is my x, is basically going to lie between 3 and 2. So here, my value that I'm going to choose here is 2. So this is going to be equal to 2 because it's a constant. All right. Now let's look at question 9. Let's look at question 9. Now we want to check if this function is true. So we are saying that f of x exists, that is the limit, and then f of x exists, and f is continuous. So let's check if it is true from the function. So f of x exists is talking about f of 1, which is 4. So when you plug in the value, you get 4. Finding the limit exists means that checking the limit from here. So limit as x is approaching 1 of x squared minus 1. I plug in 1, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. That one too exists. But you see that the function is not continuous at 1. Why? Because this is not the same as this, right? For the function to be continuous at 1, this should be the same as this. So the best option is C and C, which is I and this. So this one, we are even lucky enough they didn't include an option where we have I, and I. So the answer here is going to be C from there. Now find the acute angle between two straight lines having the equation. So acute angle, we can pick theta is equal to this one. It does not matter how you are going to write it because I'm having the absolute, right? So you can do m1 plus m2 or m1 minus m2. Any of them works. So I'm using m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. If we're using the other one, it will be m1 plus m2 divided by 1 minus m1 m2. So the same thing. Because of the absolute, any of them works. So let's find the slope. m1 and m2 are the slope. Let's find slope of this, slope of that. We know that for slope, we should have it in this form, mx plus c. So let's pick 3x plus 4y minus 10. So what do you think the slope will be? So here which means that we need to make y the subject. So 4y is equal to minus 3x plus 10. Divide through by 4 and have minus 3 divided by 4x plus 10 over 4. So I can pick my m1 from here and have it to be 3 over 4. Let's pick the other equation. 4x minus 5y plus 2 is equal to 0. When I move minus 5s, I'll have this one to be equal to 4x plus 2. Divide through by 5 and have 4 over 5x plus 2 over 5. So my M2 will be equal to 4 divided by 5. So it's just the matter of doing substitution. So tan theta is equal to absolute of minus 3 over 4 minus 5 over 4 divided by 1 plus 4 over 5 times minus 3 over 4 absolute. Now when you do this one, you simplify it and you do it very well. You should be having minus 31 divided by 8 absolute, and this is going to give us 31 divided by 8. Right, so that's basically what you are going to get from here. This one is minus 31 divided by 20, and this one is divided by 5 over 2, which is minus 31 divided by 20 times 5 over 2. No, 2 over 5. This one should be 2 on 5. So that this one will be 5 on 2. So when you cancel it out, you have this one to be 4, then you have the 8. You pick the absolute and you have something like this. So now we can say that tan theta is equal to 31 divided by 8. This implies that theta is equal to tan inverse, or the arctangent of 31 over 8, and this is going to give us 75.53. So this one too is kind of very simple from here. We have 10 more questions to go. Let's just finish it up and take our final exams with confidence. So we want to find the value of k if the distance between these 2 points is this. So distance between, let me name this one A and B. A and B is equal to square root of 41. So let's find the distance. So x1 minus x2 squared, you can make it x2 minus x1 is also the same thing. Because of the squared, it does not matter how you are going to do it. But if we are using x1 here, make sure you use y12 here. Even though it's going to be the same, but let's be consistent from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square both sides. So I'm going to have, let me pick this one to be x1, y1. So I'm going to have this one to be 2 plus 3 squared plus, this is going to be minus 5 plus, no, minus k squared is equal to 41. So I squared this, this cancel, so I'm going to have something like this. This is going to be 5 squared plus minus 5 minus k squared is equal to 41. I'm not going to expand because I know the strategy here. So this is going to be 41 minus 25. 5 squared is 25, so I move it to the right and I have it to be this. So minus 5 minus this is equal to 16. And I take the square root. So I'm going to have minus 5 minus this is equal to square root of 16. And minus 5 minus k is going to be plus or minus 4 because of the square root. So here, I'm going to consider when it is 4. So when it is 4, when I move k here and move this one here, I'm going to have minus 5 minus 4 is equal to k. K should be equal to minus 9. I consider when it is negative. Minus 5 minus k is equal to minus 4. Move k here, move 4 here. Minus this plus 4 is equal to k, and k will be equal to minus 1. So minus 9 minus 1. Okay, so we have one of them here, so we can choose this one. Which of the following is a property of the equation of the circle? Right, so this question, they trick it small. So the one, what is equation? Because I think the question that we've seen here was which is not. But now they are saying that which is the one. So this one is B, right? Because we know that the degree of x and y is 2. We don't have any term which is x and y. And the coefficient of x and y, we are not guaranteed to be having it to be the same all the time. It can change. And then the origin to, which is the center, we can have a center which is 2 and 3, not always 0, 0. So we get from there. For which of the following, for which values of c is this continuous? So for continuity, since this one is using less than and this, we are going to use the left and the right. So it means that when I pick limit as x is approaching a of f of x from the left should be the same as limit x is approaching a from the right, because the question is saying that it should be continuous, so it should be the same, right? So from the left, we are going to have x is approaching 2 from the left. So from the left, you see, they swap the equation. From the left is the one down here, the one which is less than 2. So we are going to have 10 minus x is equal to, from the right, x is approaching 2 from the right is going to be c squared plus 1. So here we are going to set s is equal to 2, s is equal to 2. This is actually telling us that we are moving from the right and then moving out from the left. So 10 minus 2 is equal to c, 2 squared plus 1. This is 8 is equal to 4c plus 1. And then 4c is equal to 7, which is 8 minus 1. And c should be 7 over 4. 7 over 4, you see. Is that right? Okay, that's right for question 13. We are almost done. Question 14, we need to use a squeeze theorem, but this one I'm going to choose 0 because of this and x is approaching 0. It's kind of like this is going to give us 1 and then this is going to give us 0. So it is going to be 0. But we can set up the squeeze theorem. We know that sine theta is always between 1 and minus 1. So we are going to make sure that we have this equation here. So it means that the angle does not matter. I can change the theta to be 1 over x squared, which is the same as what is here. Now what is here is multiplied by x. So I'll multiply through by, x squared. So I'll multiply through by x squared. And I'm going to have minus x squared less than x squared sine 1 over x squared less than or equal to x squared. So what am I going to get here? Now that I've gotten the question, I need to pick a limit as x is approaching 0 on each side. So limit x approaching 0 of minus x squared, limit x approaching x squared sine of 1 over x squared less than or equal to limit x approaching 0 x squared. So plug in 0 and this is going to be 0 less than everything here less than or equal to 0 here. So this is 0, this is 0. So anytime you are picking a squeeze theorem like this, always you can just do straight because this is objectives. So you can just ignore the sign value here because this is kind of like going to give us 1 and concentrate on this one, right? So when you plug it in and it is equal to 0, the answer is going to be 0. When it is 1, the answer is going to be 1. But make sure for you to ignore this one, this is approaching 0. If this one is approaching 1, you cannot ignore this one. So pay attention there. Let's look at question 15. Find the equation of the normal to the circle. So equation of the normal to the circle is like this. So we have the center and then the normal. So this one will be the normal line, where from this side to this side is the radius. So what will be the center, right? And we have 1 point. It can be inside on or outside, but let me put it there. So equation of the circle is given by this. So we know that for us to get the center, 2 gen is equal to minus 4. So gen will be minus 2. And then 2f will be equal to 6. And f will be equal to 3. So the center, what is minus gen minus f, will be equal to 2 and minus 3. So we need to negate minus will be positive. And then this is positive, so minus. So the center will be 2 and minus 3, right? 2 and minus 3. So now let's try and then find the equation of the normal. So we know that equation of the normal is basically y minus y1 equal to the slope x minus x1. So let's do that. Let's pick this point here. So I'm going to have y minus 6 is equal to m x plus 4. But we need the slope, which is change in y over change in x. So this is going to give us, I'm picking this one to be y2 x2. So I'm going to have 6 plus 3 divided by minus 4 minus 2. This is going to give us 9 divided by minus 6, and this is 3 divided by minus 2. So y minus 6 is equal to 3 divided by minus 2 x plus 4. Multiply through by 2 and have minus 2y plus 12 is equal to or let me just maintain the minus here and have this one to be positive and this one to be minus. So I'm multiplying through by 2, and this is going to be now minus 3x plus 4. 2y minus 12 is equal to minus 3x minus 12. So let's see how the equation is being done. Okay, so I'll move all this to here. I'm going to have 2y plus 3x is equal to 0. Because when I move this one, it becomes positive. So 2y, 3x is the first one here. Let's look at question 16. Find the coordinate of B if the midpoint of the line segment is... Okay, so we have the midpoint and we have A. So we need to find the coordinate of B. So let's assume that the coordinate of B is x and y. So the midpoint, which is this, is equal to x1, y1 divided by 2, x2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now, this is given, what is the midpoint? So we have minus 1 and 4. Now, let's assume that this is x2, x1. So this will be, sorry, y1, y2. So this will be x1, y1. So we are going to have this one to be 4 plus x divided by 2. And then minus 2 plus y divided by 2. So let's just, this component here is the same as this. So minus 1 is equal to 4 plus x divided by 2. And then this is also the same as this, divided by 2. So this component, first component, this is also equal to this. Let's try and solve this. Multiply 2 by 2, have this. Find for x and have minus 6. Multiply 2 by 2 and have 8 minus 2 plus this. And then this one will be 10. So minus 6 and 10 will be the results. Minus 6 and 10 is here. Is that right? Yes. Now let's finish it up by solving questions 17, 18, 19, and 20. So 4 more questions to go. Determine the equation of the circle with a center and having a line as the tangent. So we have something like this as the circle, and we have the tangent, right? And we have the equation, we have the center, right? Which is 1, 3. So if I'm using the standard equation, so having the center already is going to give me x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared, which is equal to, so let's try and see if we can eliminate, oh, all of them are the same. So we just need the radius, right? So now remember, this is the tangent line, and this is the radius, but we can see that this is perpendicular to this. So for us to find this radius here, we need to use the perpendicular distance. And this is 3x plus 4y plus 10 is equal to 0. So the perpendicular distance is the same as the radius, which is equal to absolute of ax plus by plus c divided by square root of a squared plus b squared. So what is the x and y? The x and y is the coordinates of the center. And then AB is the one in front of this. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So let's do substitution. Absolute of 3 times 1 plus 4 times 3 plus 10. Absolute. So the absolute is just make sure that if it's minus, it goes to positive. So A is 3 squared plus 4 squared. So there is no negative, so I'll make it positive. So 3 plus 12 plus 10 divided by square root of 9 plus 16. This is going to give us 25 divided by square root of 25. 25 divided by 5 will be equal to 5. So radius is 5, so this will be 5 squared. 5 squared is 25, so we are going to have this one here. Nice. Now let's look at 18. So anytime you are doing limit, I said do direct substitution first. So since x is approaching 1, let's do direct substitution first and see what we are going to get. So 1 squared plus 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 1, 1 plus 3 is going to give us square root of 1 plus 0 divided by 4 square root of 1 divided by 4, and square root of 1 divided by 4 is 1 over 2. So you see that direct substitution works. So don't complicate your mind. So this one, for you to complicate your mind, do direct substitution before you think about other ways of solving limit. So direct substitution is very, very important. Good. Now let's look at question 19. So we have a circle and we have a line that intersect. So they are saying that the question is saying that it intercepts. So here we have two options. It's either it intercepts the circle as the tangent line, or it intercepts the circle as chord. So the option can be D, or it can be any of A, B, C, one of them, right? So let's solve it simultaneously. So we have x minus 2y, which is equal to 1. Make x the subject and have 1 plus 2y. We are going to plug this one inside the equation of the circle given. So they've given us x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 2y is equal to 5. Let's do that. So this one, the strategy that I'm going to use here is, as soon as I get 2 points for y, then it means that the answer is going to be D, because there's no way I'm going to have the answer to be A or B. But as soon as I get one answer to, then now I need to find for x and choose from there. Okay, so x is 1 plus 2y. Let me just bring this one here. Minus 2y is equal to 5. So expand this one and have 1 plus 4y plus 4y squared. Is that right? Yes. Plus y squared plus 4 plus 8y minus 2y is equal to 5. So this is going to give us 5y plus, so now this, so and this is going to give us something like 10y, I think so. This and this is going to give us 5y squared. Okay, so let me put the square here. And then now let's look at this. I have this and this, which is going to give us 5. And guess what? When I move the 5 here, this becomes 0. Okay, this becomes 0. So this will be equal to 0. Because 1 plus 4 is 5. When you move here, you get minus 5. So here I can factor 5y out and have y plus 2, which is equal to 0. So here 5y is equal to 0. Y should be equal to 0. This plus this should be equal to 0. Y should be equal to minus 2. So I'm getting 2 points here. So it means that the x point are also going to be 2. So definitely I'm going to have this, which is telling me y is 0 and then y is minus 2, which is basically what we had here, right? But we can confirm by putting them inside this. So when y is 0, what will be x? X will be equal to 1 when y is 0. And then when y is minus 2, what are we going to get? We are going to have x to be equal to 1 plus 2 times minus 2, which is equal to 1 minus 4 and minus 3. So indeed, the answer is D. Let's do the last one. Evaluate this limit. So as I said, direct substitution first, but this one, I still capture it and I saw that, okay, when I put 2 here, the denominator will be 0. So I don't have any option to simplify. Now, anytime we are doing simplification, we think of, we can cancel something out. So we are going to think that x minus 2 is a factor of x to the power 4 minus 16 squared. But this one too, I can use difference of 2 squares, or I can use the long division algorithm. So I'll show you the two. Let's use the long division algorithm before I show you the shortcut. So let's see here. So this is 4 to the x to the power 4 minus 16. So x goes here, x to the power 3, right? So I multiply through and I have x to the power 3 minus to the power 3. Subtracts. Oh, this one should be 4. So this will go away. And then there is no term with x to the power 3 here. So it's going to be 0 minus minus. So this will be 2x cubed minus 16. Then I bring the 16 here. X goes here plus 2x squared. Multiply through again and have 2x cubed minus 4x squared. Subtract again. The one with the cube will go. We don't have x squared here. So it will be 0 minus minus, and this is going to give us 4x squared minus the 16. X goes here plus 4x, right? Yes. So I'm going to have 4x squared minus 8x, and then do the subtraction again, minus, this goes away, the same thing, this will be 8x minus 16, and then x goes here, 8, so plus 8, and I'm going to have this one to be 8x minus 16, is that right? Yeah, 8, so this is going to be 0. So it means that my x to the power 4 minus 16 is basically equal to this times this. So I'm going to have x minus 2, then x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8. Is that right? Yes. So that is what I have here. So it means that now my limit, x is approaching 2, will be equal to, now I'm going to replace this by this. So I'm going to have x minus 2, x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8 divided by x squared minus 2. So I assume that x minus 2 is a factor, and indeed, because I had this one to be 0, it's a factor. So I cancel it out. Then now I plug in when x is equal to 2. I'll show you the shortcut now when I finish. Let's plug in x equal to 2. So 2 cubed plus 2 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 8. So this is 8 plus, this is also going to give us, I think, 8 plus another 8 plus another 8. So this is 16 plus 16, which is going to give us 32. We have 32 there. Okay, we have 32 there. And let me walk you through the shortcut. So the shortcut is how to see the function without doing a lot. So as soon as I saw the question, this is what I see, or this is what I saw. I saw that I can write this one as difference of 2 squares, right? So I can write x to the power 4 minus 16 as x squared minus 4 squared. Is that right? So if I can write this one like this, then I can write this one as x squared minus 4, x squared plus 4. And when I simplify this, I'm going to have this one. Then I can see another difference of 2 squared here. This is the same as x squared minus 2 squared, and then x squared plus, let me just maintain this one because I'm not going to do anything. So this one can be written as x minus 2, x plus 2, x squared plus 4. So this is how I was seeing the equation. So I can just plug this one there, and you see that when I do that, I'm going to have this one to be limit x is approaching 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, then x squared plus 4 divided by x minus 2, so that this one cancels this. So I just plug in 2 inside this, and I'm going to have this one to be 2 plus 2, and then 2 squared plus 4. So this is 4 times, this is 2, and it's going to be 4. So this is going to be 8. And 4 times 8 is 32, which is also the same thing, right? So anyways, we get the results, which is 32, right? So I know you guys are fully confident and you are going to crack the exams. You know, our YouTube system has given us a platform. So I can't wait so that next semester when all of you are getting an A, I want to see the excitement on the YouTube channel when it just come and post I had A. We'll talk about that one later after we are done with the exams. So I wish you all the best in your final exams, and I know you've made it already, not just making it. You have gotten the A already. So bye bye.